for this part of the video, what I want to do is just go over the pump panel, give you a lay of the land and let you know what all these knobs and buttons and gadgets are all for. And it's just easiest just to start from the top and work our way down. So on every pump panel, you're going to have a gauge of some sort. So this is just going to tell us how much water we have in our booster tank. So as long as you know what your booster tank is capable of, this gauge will guide you from there. So we have 1,000 gallons on board. So obviously once this gets down to half, I only have 500 gallons left to play with. Moving over, this is the pressure governor. When I talked before about the pump being the heart of the system, the pressure governor is the brains of the system. The pressure governor does all the calculating and math, well, a lot of the math for us. On the pressure governor, we have a couple windows I'm going to talk about right now. The first one is, let's look at our pump intake, okay? And then we have a pump discharge. So if you remember the videos before where I was talking about our intake manifold and how a hydrant can go into an intake like this, and that hydrant will give us a certain amount of pressure on the intake manifold. Well, this pump intake is recording, is telling you how much pressure is in that intake manifold. And we talked about how that water goes from the intake manifold into the impellers, picks up pressure, picks up velocity, and goes to the discharge manifold. Well, that's what this pump discharge is going to tell you. Right now it's reading 0 because I have the pump off, just so we're not fighting the sound. But that pump discharge is telling you how much pressure is built up in that discharge manifold. I'm going to jump over to this window here, which is telling you your RPMs. The RPMs is how fast the engine is spinning the impellers. And I have a control knob here. Right now, again, my pump is not engaged, but if it were, if I turn this knob, that would be the same as pushing on a pedal, the gas pedal. So I would be increasing the RPMs in the engine, which will turn the impellers in here faster, which will create more discharge pressure. As I'm doing that, and I'm actually flowing water, the pump intake will start to go down. In the middle here, I have two buttons, pressure and RPM. I can switch from pressure to RPM just with the push of a button when I'm in idle mode. I'm going to go over this in more detail after we talk about a few more things, because if I get too much into the weeds here and this is your first time learning about this stuff, I might lose you. Depending on your pump panel, these gauges here, these little windows, you might have big, beautiful, sorry to sound like Trump, but big, beautiful gauges up here, like these that are much larger. If you have that, on your left-hand side is typically the intake gauge, and on your right side would typically be your pump discharge. All right, so let's talk about this section right here. I have all of these push-pull levers, and above them I have all of these separate gauges. Well, what these are levers for me to release the water that's stored inside of that discharge manifold out to the atmosphere, out to attack a fire. So let's talk about this one here. I have discharge, driver's side discharge. It's listed as blue, and right below it, here's the actual discharge, also in blue. So they will have corresponding labels to it, and it's nice when they have color coding to it. Okay, so if this pump was engaged and I had a hose hooked up here and I open this, water's now going to come out of here. right above it is a gauge. So this is an analog pressure gauge that's going to tell me how much pressure is coming out of this discharge. So if we look at that diagram that I made, this gauge is going to be taking its reading on the outside of this valve. Okay, we have the discharge manifold, which is releasing water into all these different discharges. There's a valve for each one of these discharges, and this pressure gauge is reading the water pressure on the outside of that valve. We'll explain why we need to know that a little bit later when we start actually flowing water. All right, let's look at kind of this area. But here's a right side intake. Okay, so that would be the officer or passenger side. So if you look at this intake here, this has a turnstile ball valve in it. So I'm manually turning this to let water go in, okay? Which is fine on this side because I'm actually here. On the other side, there's a steamer port or an LDH intake, and I can't run around there and manually open it. So we have an electronic valve that's operated here. Red indicates that it's closed, green would indicate that it's open, and just like the manual one, I can choose how much I want that to open by pushing this. And you can see how quickly the lights. So I went all the way from open to all the way to close in just a few seconds. Next to it is the primer for the pump itself. I'm going to talk in more detail about how these primers work in another video when we go over drafting. But for right now, all you need to know is that there's different models. This particular one is an air primer, and when I push this, I'm evacuating the air that would be trapped inside of that pump cavity. When I evacuate that air, it's like a vacuum or a negative, which will then allow outside water to come rushing in. Okay, again, we'll talk about that more in detail in another video, but for right now, that's what this is. And here's a rear primer. Here's the way, the short way I explain a rear prime, okay? I have a stick, a pipe, that's going all the way to the back, which this would open. So there's a valve in that stick. So let's pretend that valve is physically right here. It's not, but just for your mind's eye, let's pretend I have this pipe that's coming in and that valve is right here in that pipe, okay? And then from that valve, I have this much distance to get to my actual intake manifold, okay? With this primer, when you have a rear primer, what that's gonna do is evacuate all of the air on that side of this valve. It's a huge advantage because I can bring water all the way up to this valve while I'm still fighting the fire with my onboard tank. And when it's time to switch and open this, I only have to contend with the air that's between that valve and this, and which is essentially nothing. That will burp right through the system in a second. Some engines do not have that. We specifically spec'd it out in here because we have to draft off the rear a lot, and this just makes it a lot easier. So, all right, next to it is a tank to pump. So, and you can see that I'm in the closed mode. So we talked about having a booster tank that's on our fire apparatus, and there's a pipe that's going from that booster tank into that intake manifold, and there's a valve inside of that pipe. So when I flip this switch, I'm just opening up that valve all the way, and that water will be gravity fed, pushed into the pump. Okay, a lot of engines will have a push-pull lever just like these. There's advantages and disadvantages to each, so I won't get on any soapbox for that. But for this, it's all the way on, all the way off. If you have a push-pull like this, you can basically gate that valve. Next to it is my tank fill. So this is a discharge, just like all of these. The only difference is on this discharge is I do not have a gauge. I think this is probably one of the biggest culprits for pump operators when they're struggling with cavitation or trying to get the kind of volume of water that we need on the fire scene, because it's very easy for people to forget about this being a massive discharge. Just as much water can flow out of this as any of these. And if I'm flowing water out of here, it's stealing the supply for any of these. We talked about a discharge here. I'm just going to point this out to you. Okay, and over here is an intake. From this point forward, on an engine, always understand a discharge will have the male side, because that's pointing towards the fire, okay? And an intake will be the female side, because that's pointing towards your pump. And that rule is pretty standard on all of your 2.5s. In one of the videos, we showed you how this bleeder valve works. So when I have a charged line or charged LDH coming off of a hydrant, before I open this, I can open this bleeder valve. And as that line gets charged, all the air will get pushed through and out through this little orifice. Right, as soon as it's like this, I'm good to close the bleeder valve. For my right side and my rear intakes, I have the same ability with these bleeder valves. So here is the bleeder valve for the rear intake. If I open this up, that would let air blow out of something very similar to this. And this would be my bleeder valve for my right side. And then down here at the bottom, I have a lot of different drains. So this one here is my master drain. This would allow anything inside. If you imagine that intake manifold, the impeller casing, and the discharge manifold, this drain would be at the bottom of all of those and allow all that water to rush out underneath. These, when you have separate drains, these are to drain that specific discharge. So I could drain my driver discharge, anything that's in that past the discharge manifold, okay, I could drain that and not affect my actual pump cavity or my intake manifold. Clear as mud. Now on every pump panel, there should be a certification label, okay? This tells us what kind of pump it is. So this is a CSU pump. In that very first video, this is the one that I was talking about. But then down here is where we get our ratings, okay? So this is a 1500 GPM pump at 150 PSI on our discharge when our RPMs are at 1500. And the way they rate that is off the side, off of either the right side or the left side intake, they hook up 20 feet of hard suction hose and they have a 10-foot drop. And they draft off of that. And under those conditions, as far as an intake, we can expect to be able to push out 1,500 gallons of water per minute. All right, so that's the kind of the lay of the land when we're talking about our pump panel. Again, depending whether you have one on the side like this, and this would be called a midship, whether you have one that's on the top or inside of an enclosure, or if it's off the rear or in a roll-up door, you could have different kind of levers like these all over. You might have all electronic, you might have all manual, but the theory is all the same. The whole purpose of this pump panel is two things. It's to help you move water from one place to another and to increase pressure and to control that pressure. What kind of levers it is? They all have this. What kind of levers it is? What do we got?